Imagine if you could unlock the secrets to what actually gets a woman's heart racing. And no, it's not just about the obvious. It's about subtle moves, little signals, and the kind of energy you bring into the moment. Most men think turning a woman on is about saying the right words, but in reality, it's about how you make her feel. The truth is, attraction is less about what you do and more about how she experiences you. Women are wired differently, and once you understand the psychology behind their desire, everything changes. The smallest gestures can create the biggest sparks if you know when and how to use them. That's where the real power lies. Not in flashy moves, but in invisible triggers of desire. And here's the kicker. Once you know these triggers, you'll realize turning a woman on isn't complicated, it's an art. In this video, we'll break it down step by step so you don't just guess, you actually know what works. Ready? Let's dive into the real ways to make her crave your presence. 1. Confidence without arrogance. When it comes to turning a woman on, the very first trigger isn't about your looks, your money, or even the smoothness of your words. It's about confidence. Real, unshakable confidence is one of the most powerful signals you can send. But here's the catch. Women are instantly turned off by arrogance. They can smell fake bravado a mile away. So the kind of confidence that actually excites her is the kind that comes from within, not from a desperate need to prove yourself. Think about it. When you walk into a room, do you carry yourself like you belong there? Do your eyes show certainty instead of doubt? Women notice these tiny details, and whether you realize it or not, your body language is screaming louder than your words ever could. Shoulders back, steady pace, eye contact, not creepy staring, but genuine presence. That kind of silent communication makes her feel your energy before you even open your mouth. And trust me, it works faster than any cheesy pickup line ever will. Confidence also shows in how you react to her. When she teases you, do you get flustered? When she tests your patience, do you crack? A man who can laugh it off, who doesn't feel the need to defend himself at every jab, radiates strength. That resilience is intoxicating because it tells her you're grounded, you're not desperate, and you're not chasing her approval. Ironically, the less you seek her validation, the more she's drawn to give it to you. But let's clear one misconception. Being confident doesn't mean being a loud, overbearing, alpha wannabe. Real confidence is calm, composed, and controlled. It's knowing who you are and not needing the world or her to constantly remind you of it. It's when you can look her in the eyes, smile with certainty, and let silence sit without feeling the need to fill it. That moment of calm intensity makes her heart race in ways you might not even imagine. Here's the bottom line. Confidence is sexy because it signals security. A confident man makes a woman feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. She knows she can relax in his presence. She knows he can handle himself, and she knows he won't crumble under pressure. That's why confidence is the very first step in turning her on. It opens the door to trust, excitement, and desire all at once. Dash dash. 2. The power of subtle touch. If confidence is the spark, then touch is the fire that keeps burning. But here's the truth. Most men mess this up because they either rush it or make it mechanical. The secret isn't in grabbing or forcing, it's in subtlety. Women don't get turned on when you pounce like a wild animal. They get turned on when your touch feels natural, unplanned, and, most importantly, charged with intention. Think about the first time your hand brushes against hers. That tiny contact, almost accidental, can create more electricity than a full-on hug if you do it right. Why? Because subtle touch is about building anticipation. It's about letting her wonder, did he mean to do that? Was that on purpose? That sense of mystery flips a switch in her mind, making her pay attention to you in a way she didn't before. The right touch at the right moment makes her body react before her brain even catches up. But here's where most guys fail. They think more touch means more attraction. Wrong. Too much too soon makes you look desperate and kills the magic. Instead, less is more. A gentle touch on her lower back as you guide her through a doorway. A quick brush of your hand against her arm while you're laughing at a joke. Even a firm handshake with just a little extra presence can send the message. I know what I'm doing. The psychology behind this is fascinating. Women associate touch with emotional connection. If your touch is confident, steady, and respectful, it signals that you're in control without being controlling. That balance creates trust, and trust is the foundation of desire. When she feels your touch is intentional but not needy, her body responds in ways she won't say out loud, but you'll definitely notice. Another key is timing. You don't touch her when she's uncomfortable, distracted, or closed off. You wait for the moments when she's laughing, leaning in, or fully engaged with you. That's when your touch amplifies her emotions instead of interrupting them. It's not just physical, it's emotional synchronization. When your energy matches hers, even the smallest contact feels electric. Bottom line, turning a woman on isn't about going in with aggressive moves. It's about mastering the art of subtle, meaningful touch. It's a language without words, and when you speak it fluently, you don't just grab her attention, you make her crave more. And once she craves your touch, you've unlocked one of the most powerful triggers of attraction. 3. The magnetic power of eye contact. If touch is the language of the body, then eye contact is the language of the soul. Nothing turns a woman on faster than a man who knows how to look at her. Not in a creepy, overbearing way, but with calm, magnetic presence. When your eyes meet hers, it's not just about looking, it's about holding. That steady gaze says more than 1,000 words because women feel energy through the eyes. And here's the truth. If you can't hold her gaze, she'll sense hesitation, weakness, or uncertainty. But if you can lock in with calm confidence, her mind instantly begins to race. Think about it. When you're talking to her, do your eyes dart around the room, or do you anchor yourself in the moment, making her feel like she's the only person that exists right then and there? That level of attention is rare, and rarity is what makes it irresistible. Eye contact makes her feel seen, understood, and valued without you saying a single thing. That's why it's such a powerful turn on. It bypasses the logical brain and hits straight at the emotional core. The trick is balance. Too little eye contact and you look nervous. Too much and you risk coming across as aggressive. The sweet spot is when you hold her gaze just a fraction longer than normal. Long enough to make it noticeable, but not long enough to make it uncomfortable. That tiny pause builds tension, and tension is the lifeblood of attraction. It's the difference between a casual glance and a moment that lingers in her memory. And here's another secret. Eye contact works best when paired with a subtle smile. Not a goofy grin, not a forced smirk, but a calm, knowing smile that suggests you're confident in yourself and in her presence. That combination, steady eyes and a controlled smile, creates an aura of mystery. She'll wonder, what's behind that look? What is he thinking? That curiosity pulls her deeper into your frame without you lifting a finger. What most men don't realize is that women pick up on micro expressions instantly. If your eyes are unsure, needy, or begging for approval, she'll feel it. But if your gaze is steady, playful, or even slightly challenging, she'll feel the spark. That's why mastering eye contact is like mastering a silent form of dominance. It tells her you're comfortable with intimacy, with tension, and with her. Bottom line, eye contact is more than looking. It's about connection, control, and silent confidence. When you master it, you don't just make her notice you, you make her feel you. And when she feels you through just your eyes, she's already halfway turned on before you even touch her. Dash dash. 4. The voice that draws her in. If confidence is the frame and eye contact is the spark, then your voice is the melody that plays in her mind long after the conversation ends. Women are incredibly responsive to how a man sounds. The rhythm, the tone, the pace, these elements can either draw her closer or push her away. You don't need to sound like a movie star with a deep bass. What matters is control, calmness, and variation. A steady, grounded voice communicates power. A rushed, shaky, or high-pitched voice communicates nervousness. And trust me, she can tell instantly. The magic happens when you speak with deliberate calm. Slow down, breathe between sentences. When you don't rush your words, you send the signal that you're not desperate for her attention. You already have it. That natural pause creates anticipation, making her lean in, waiting for what comes next. And here's where it gets powerful. Women are wired to connect emotions with sound. A deep, relaxed tone tells her you're confident, secure, and in control. A playful shift in tone shows her you're fun and unpredictable. This dance between steadiness and playfulness is irresistible when done right. Think of your voice like touch. If you barge in loudly, you overwhelm her senses. If you whisper at the right moment, you draw her closer, making her hang on every word. It's not about volume, it's about intimacy. Lowering your voice slightly when the moment feels right creates a bubble between you and her, almost like the rest of the world fades away. That sense of exclusivity is intoxicating because she feels chosen, special, and connected only to you. Another secret? Storytelling. A man who knows how to tell a story with his voice, using rhythm, emphasis, and pauses, instantly becomes more attractive. Why? Because storytelling activates her imagination. She doesn't just hear your words, she feels them. And when her imagination is engaged, she begins to emotionally invest. That investment is where attraction deepens. But the most overlooked part is listening. A powerful voice isn't only about what you say, it's also about how you respond. When she speaks, don't interrupt. Let her finish, then reply with calm certainty. That balance of speaking with authority and listening with presence makes your voice carry more weight. It tells her you're not just trying to impress, you're engaging with her. Bottom line, your voice is a tool, a weapon, and a pathway to desire. When you master it, steady, confident, playful when needed, you don't just talk to her, you make her feel something every time you open your mouth. And when your voice lingers in her head, even after you're gone, that's when you know she's hooked. Dash dash. 5. The art of teasing and playful challenge. If confidence, touch, eye contact, and voice set the stage, then teasing is the spark that keeps the game alive. Women love to be desired, yes, but they don't want it handed to them on a silver platter with no effort. What really excites them is the dance, the back and forth of playful banter, witty remarks, and lighthearted challenge that creates tension. Teasing isn't about being mean or disrespectful. It's about showing her that you're confident enough not to worship every word she says, while still making her feel special. Think about it. When every guy is trying to impress her with compliments and eager approval, the one man who flips the script stands out. Instead of putting her on a pedestal, you challenge her in a fun, playful way. If she brags about being good at something, you smirk and say, "Oh, really? I'll believe it when I see it." That light pushback makes her curious, makes her laugh, and most importantly, it makes her work a little for your validation. And that's the key. Desire grows when it's earned, not when it's given too easily. Teasing also creates emotional spikes, and those spikes are addictive. One minute you're playful, the next you're sincere. That unpredictability keeps her engaged because she never knows what's coming next. It's like riding a roller coaster, thrilling, exciting, and impossible to forget. This emotional variety builds chemistry faster than just nodding along to everything she says. But here's the golden rule: teasing must always have warmth underneath. If it feels like genuine criticism, it kills the vibe. If it's paired with a smile, a wink, or playful body language, it creates attraction. For example, if she takes forever to decide what to eat, you might joke, "Good thing I'm patient. Otherwise, we'd starve by now." That little jab makes her laugh, but it also signals that you're comfortable enough to poke fun at her quirks. And trust me, when done right, she'll find it charming instead of offensive. The psychology behind this is simple. Women are attracted to men who can both excite and ground them. Teasing provides the excitement because it challenges her, makes her laugh, and sparks tension. But when you pair it with respect and warmth, she knows it's safe to let loose and play back. That balance is what makes her crave your presence. Because you're not just another guy trying to impress her, you're the guy who makes her feel alive. Bottom line, teasing is about creating tension without hostility, attraction without neediness, and excitement without pressure. Master it, and you'll find that the more she laughs, the more she blushes, the more she leans in, the more turned on she becomes without even realizing it. Dash dash. 6. The mystery factor, never giving it all away. If teasing is the game that keeps her laughing, then mystery is the string that keeps her chasing. Women are endlessly intrigued by men who don't reveal everything at once. The moment you spill your entire life story, your deepest secrets, and every plan for the future in one sitting, you kill the suspense. Desire thrives on curiosity, and curiosity only exists when there's something left unsaid. The truth is simple. What's hidden excites her far more than what's obvious. Think of it like this: movies don't reveal the ending in the first 10 minutes. They build tension, drop hints, leave you guessing. That's exactly how attraction works. When you show her enough to spark her interest but hold back just enough to make her wonder, you become unforgettable. She'll lie awake at night, replaying your words, your looks, and your gestures, trying to figure you out. That guessing game is half the thrill, and it pulls her deeper into your orbit without you lifting a finger. Mystery isn't about lying or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about controlling the flow of information. If she asks a direct question, answer honestly, but don't over explain. If she's curious about your past, share a piece, but not the whole puzzle. If she compliments your confidence, smile and say, "There's more to it than you think," then change the subject. That tiny act of withholding turns her curiosity into attraction because now she's invested in discovering more about you. The psychological trigger here is anticipation. When you create an air of mystery, you're feeding her imagination, and imagination is where desire multiplies. Women don't just want facts, they want stories to unfold, surprises to uncover, and layers to peel back. Each unanswered question makes her lean in closer, both physically and emotionally. And here's the powerful part: mystery makes you seem rare. In a world where everyone overshares on social media, the man who knows how to keep parts of himself private becomes magnetic. He feels different. He feels valuable. He feels like someone worth chasing. That's why the men who are mysterious without being distant ignite more passion than the ones who lay everything out on the table from day one. Bottom line, mystery creates depth. It tells her there's more beneath the surface, more to discover, more reasons to stay. And when she's the one trying to figure you out, replaying your words and chasing your presence, that's when you've completely flipped the script. Instead of you trying to turn her on, she's turning herself on with the endless possibilities of who you might be. 7. Emotional connection that feels intimate. Confidence, touch, eye contact, voice, teasing, and mystery. All of these build heat. But if you want that spark to truly explode into desire, you need the emotional connection. Because here's the truth: a woman can be physically attracted to you, but what makes her stay turned on is the way you make her feel. If she feels understood, seen, and emotionally safe around you, her attraction doesn't just grow, it deepens. And that depth is where real obsession begins. Most men overlook this part. They focus so much on surface level moves that they forget. Desire isn't just in the body, it's in the mind and heart. When you ask her questions that actually matter, when you listen instead of waiting for your turn to talk, when you remember the little details she shared with you, that's when she feels the difference. You're not just another guy chasing her, you're the man who actually gets her. And nothing is more seductive than being understood. Think about the moments when she opens up about her dreams, her fears, or even just her silly stories. Do you brush them off? Or do you lean in, lock eyes, and respond in a way that shows you're fully present? That presence is intoxicating. It tells her, "I'm here with you and nothing else matters right now." And when she feels that, her guard drops, her walls lower, and her attraction intensifies. Because now it's not just chemistry, it's connection. But don't confuse emotional connection with oversharing or dumping your entire heart out at once. Balance is everything. You show her you care, you engage with her feelings, but you also keep your frame. That combination, strength with empathy, is what makes you stand out. Too soft and you seem needy. Too hard and you seem cold. The sweet spot is when she knows you can handle her emotions without losing your own balance. That's when she trusts you on a level most men never reach. And here's the secret: emotional intimacy amplifies physical intimacy. When she feels close to you emotionally, even the smallest physical gestures become electric. A hand on her arm, a kiss on her forehead, a playful whisper. All of it hits harder because it's layered with trust and vulnerability. That's when attraction transforms into obsession. Bottom line, if you want to turn a woman on and keep her turned on, don't just master the external triggers, master the emotional ones. Make her feel seen, safe, and special. And she won't just want your presence, she'll crave it. And once you've built that bond, you're not just the guy who excites her. You become the man she can't stop thinking about. Now you see, turning a woman on isn't about tricks, magic lines, or pretending to be someone you're not. It's an art built on 7 powerful pillars that, when combined, make you magnetic. It starts with confidence without arrogance, the unshakable calm that tells her you know who you are. Then comes the power of subtle touch, the unspoken language that lights her body up in ways words never could. Add to that the magnetic force of eye contact, where your steady gaze tells her more about your strength and focus than any speech ever will. And of course, your voice, controlled, calm, playful when needed, becomes the soundtrack that lingers in her head long after the moment passes. But it doesn't stop there. To truly separate yourself from the rest, you master the art of teasing, creating tension through playful challenge and witty banter. You layer in the mystery factor, holding back just enough to keep her chasing, imagining and craving more of who you are. And finally, you anchor it all with an emotional connection that makes her feel understood, valued, and safe. When she feels seen, not just as a woman, but as a person, her attraction for you doesn't just spark, it burns. The beauty of this formula is that each piece feeds the next. Confidence makes your touch feel natural. Touch makes your eye contact more powerful. Eye contact enhances your voice. Your voice makes your teasing sharper. Teasing adds to your mystery. Mystery makes her invest emotionally. And emotional connection ties everything together into a loop she doesn't want to escape. Each element alone is strong, but together they create a rhythm that makes her not only turned on in the moment, but drawn back to you again and again. Here's the real secret. It's not about manipulation. It's not about pretending to be the perfect man. It's about embodying traits that naturally draw her in. Strength, control, warmth, and presence. When you show up with these qualities, you're not just another option in her life, you're the option. You become the man who excites her, challenges her, comforts her, and inspires her all at once. And that's the kind of man she can't forget no matter who else is around. Bottom line, if you want to turn a woman on, stop focusing on shortcuts and start building the energy you carry into every interaction. Master the 7 triggers, let them flow naturally, and watch how the world shifts in your favor. Because the truth is, when you know how to make her feel alive, you don't just turn her on, you make her crave the experience of being around you, and that right there is the ultimate power.